Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we look at the latest comics and other media featuring the Transformers. In this episode, we come to the end of the second arc of the book that kicked off the Energon Universe with a review of Void Rivals number 12. Today is Friday, August 30th, 2024, and this is episode 405 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that never sends our friends off without a hand job first. Handroid. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Char, aka Robo Apollo.
Hi, everyone.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Our secret's out. I mean, I know why we're good friends. Everyone's going to know why we're really good friends now. Let's talk Transformers.
All right. As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to help us out and keep the show going. We really appreciate it. If you would like to become a Donatron, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and that's where you can sign up and join the club. Just recently, we want to welcome back this week one of our previous Donatrons who just joined up again, a good friend, Third Sergio. Thank you, Third Sergio, for coming back. You came back at the duly appointed supporter of the Transmissions podcast level, so that's it's a high level. Glad to have you back. Thanks again for contributing, and hopefully we will get to see you again at the next TFCon. Of course, as a Donatron, you get lots of perks. That includes bonus content, access to watching the show live when we record on Sundays, and getting automatically entered into all our contests. So speaking of that bonus content, we've got our bonus show, We Like Big Bots, where Daryl and Dr. Pants break down the biggest bots from their collections. Yeah, you, right there, right down there. It's you. So we've got 14 episodes of We Like Big Bots available on our Patreon page. You can watch those right now if you are a Donatron and enjoy them. And hopefully more coming this fall at some point. Daryl and Dr. Pants getting back, gear up for maybe something to come around Christmas time, maybe a little Christmas present, a little Thanksgiving present, Halloween present. Daryl,
Can't promise.
Come back, Daryl.
It's art. It takes time.
Yeah. What she said.
All right, we'll keep working on that. But for right now, the latest episode was Shockwave, so you can check that out. And we've got all those episodes on our Patreon page. We've also got our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. This week was episode 122, a Tuvix situation. And so that's available right now at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. So everyone can listen to that on our main podcast feed. If you are a Donatron, you had access to the bonus version 1 week earlier. So that was last week when the bonus version of episode 122 came out. And the bonus version of episode 123 will be out this Monday. So just a couple of days, you'll be able to listen to that right after you get done listening to episode 122. So enjoy. That's one of the perks of being a Donatron. And of course, we've still got our Transformers #1 exclusive cover from Skybound with his artwork by EJ Sue. So you can pick that up at our website, transmissionspodcast.com/comic. We still have plenty to ship around to anyone who wants to pick one up. Don't pay those exorbitant eBay prices. It looks like it's going for $30 to $40 on eBay, but you can pick it up at our website for just $15. So get it direct from the source. And lastly, of course, we've got our 15% off Toy Hacks code, but you've only got a couple more days to use this code for August. That code is Heatwave, and that code will be active until August 31st. So just as you're listening to this, this episode comes out on August 30th, so only a couple more days. This code will be active at toyhacks.com, but you can use it as many times as you want, order as many things as you want, and save 15% off everything. This code can be used with your Robo points, but cannot be used with any other promo codes. So take advantage of that. We will have a new code for September. We'll announce that on the next show after Labor Day. So stay tuned for that. All right. So that's all the pre-show stuff. Let's jump into some discussion with a little bit of comics news. All right. Well, starting off, Daniel Warren Johnson did an Ask Me Anything Reddit. This was actually promoting his new comic, The Moon is Following Us. So you can go check out that at the Ask Me Anything Reddit. But he did answer some questions about Transformers, even though that was not the main focus of this AMA. So he mentioned it just confirmed that he's going to be writing it for 24 issues total. So he's already finished 12 issues. So I guess it'll be another 12 issues. We'll see. I don't know if it'll be extended beyond that, but at least for the first 24 issues of the comic. And I guess that means we're getting 24 issues of this Transformers comic. So at least another year of Transformers goodness. And he said, he's keeping it strictly G1. So, and of course, praised Mike Spicer, his longtime collaborator for colorist, and Jorge Corona, the artist currently working on the book. So all that, and you can also just check out the other questions about his new comic, The Moon is Following Us. That's with artist Riley Rossmo, and you can see that all on Reddit. So you can read through all the questions there. So that comic should be out, I believe, early next month, and so that I think it's a 4-issue series. So the first issue will be out next month in September. So you can check that out. Of course, this week we've got the Transformers #1 40th anniversary edition one shot. There are several variant covers of that. Of course, the main cover is just a reproduction of the original cover from the 80s. So the original 1984 cover. There's also a new cover that is an homage to that, but with Megatron instead of Optimus Prime there. And you can see Shockwave in the background, and Shockwave and Soundwave, and then Starscream, in jet mode there at front. And then there's also a blank cover. So if you want to get a sketch cover for, this is a 40th anniversary edition, and get a sketch cover, so you can get this done, get some original artwork done by an artist at a con sometime, or commission it online. You can do that. There are also some various retailer incentive covers. There are these foil variants here. This is from Big Time Collectibles, Autobot and Decepticon foil variant. And a Stephen Aola foil variant. With it looks like just a kind of an Autobot group shot. A lot of ads on this site here. But this is for mbartist.com. So, and let's see, Maximus Books and More, Lino Hernandez variant. And then the the Super Manila Comic-Con variant. So this is the Philippines Manila Comic-Con variant. We mentioned this a few weeks ago. that this was available. Going to be exclusively at their convention. So
this is a they're in comics right now. They're doing a lot of both the Marvel and DC have been doing something called the facsimile editions, and these are page per page reproductions of the original book. So you get the ads, the original like 1984 ads as well, inside these books. So yeah, you can once you the covers are obviously, if you're getting a different cover, then obviously you're getting a different cover. But inside the book is going to be exactly the same as it was originally, which is really kind of cool. I've been buying a lot of these with for some like much more expensive books that I likely won't ever get a chance to buy. So yeah, it's if you ever wanted to have the opportunity to experience the Transformers #1 from 1984, this is going to be a really good opportunity to do so. And didn't we when we were talking about this, that this is going to be printed on newsprint?
I don't remember, but maybe
It might be on that Image site.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see what it says here. Yes, this issue will be printed on newsprint and will feature an all-new variant cover celebrating the history of the Transformers. So, yep. So
I knows.
This is so cool. And as you said, Daryl, what a great opportunity to get these issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. So that comes out this Wednesday. So, if you're at your store, then maybe pick up a copy or two. And I'm picking up, like I told Charles at the start of this, I'm picking up at least 3 copies of the blank sketch cover, because once these things are out of print, then they might make more. I mean, this is Image Skybound, like they're gonna make more of these eventually. Come on, but it's always good to have a blank Transformers sketch cover available for a convention.
Mm-hmm.
And as this show is going live on August 30th, so these should already be in your. If you haven't picked it up on Wednesday, go out to your comic shop now and pick it up. I imagine they will still have plenty available on Friday when this show goes live. If you're hearing it from us first, you should go pick it up if you want one.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
Thanks, Charles. This is really cool. Thanks for sharing this.
Awesome, yeah. Go hit up your local comic shop.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's all our comics news, and we will move on to our comic review. All right. So this week we are reviewing Void Rivals number 12. So this is the end of the second story arc for Void Rivals, and brings us to a kind of conclusion to the most recent story arc. But here's some of the covers here. It's lying a little bit about what's going on in this book, but we'll get into that. Okay, let's talk about the story. So Void Rivals. By the way, this is full spoilers, so we're going through all the spoilers for Void Rivals number 12. If you haven't picked it up, turn off the podcast and go pick it up and read it. It's a quick read. You should be able to read it pretty quickly. So come back and then watch our review, listen to our review, and if you have any feedback, of course. transmissionspodcast.com/feedback. Give us or leave a comment on the YouTube video, however you want to do it. So, all right, Void Rivals number 12. Writer Robert Kirkman, artist Lorenzo De Felici, colorist Patricio Del Pecci, letterer Russ Wooten, editor Ben Abernathy, logo and publication design Andres Juarez, and production Richard Mercado. So we start off with Premier Zalalak of the Zertonians contacts his Agorian counterpart, Minister Dulin, via holographic projection. He doesn't have good news. He admits that his army has failed, and the two fugitives, Solila and Dulin's own son Derek, have escaped in the wasteland between Zerta and Agoria. The danger of unity is still out there. Dulin expresses his disappointment at seeing how badly the Zertonian failure has affected him, but Zalalak takes that as an insult. Dulin tells him he meant no disrespect, but this is not the first time they faced a crisis, and Dulin assures him that the Agorians will clean up the mess the Zertonians have created. Dulin then ends the transmission. Zalalak puts his helmet on and leaves the communication chamber. As he walks through the fortress, a guard rushes to him with important news. One of the soldiers brought back a datapad from the wasteland with an exciting discovery that could change everything for the Zertonian people. Zalalak is not impressed. He tells the guard to notify him when they've confirmed this discovery, but he doesn't have time for it now. Outside, the defeated soldiers return from the wasteland to lick their wounds. They didn't notice that a stowaway hitched a ride on one of their tanks. The damaged cyborg Proximus hides in a corner trying to recover from his injuries. He is discovered by the boy Ultim, the same boy who betrayed the Zertonian resistance and Derek and Solila when they were hiding out. The boy asks if Proximus is dead since he looks in such bad shape. Proximus tells him that his arms and legs are mechanical, but what remains of his body is alive inside the armor. Proximus asks what he's doing. Ultim responds that he is hiding himself. He regrets betraying his friends. The Zertonian government promised they would find his mother in exchange for his help, but he realizes that they probably lied, and his mother is probably dead. Proximus has no comfort for him. Ultim starts to cry, and Proximus tells him to stop or they'll hear him and discover him. Ultim stifles his tears and asks if they can hide together. Proximus hesitates, then agrees to share his company. In the wasteland, Solila prepares to go on her quest to find Zerta. Derek doesn't want to part ways, but Solila tells him this is something she has to do alone. She had a vision, and Zerta told her the Unity was coming, and both their people will need to be prepared. She urges Derek to go to Agoria and prepare his own people for the event. Elsewhere on the planet Monachus, the Skuxoid has taken another job. He flees a city with some stolen cargo on a speeder bike while being pursued by alien gangsters. Skuxoid manages to outdrive and outrun all his pursuers and makes a clean getaway. The lead gangster, Lord Gaikani, curses the fleeing Skuxoid and declares that if he ever returns to Monachus, he'll kill him. The Skuxoid gets to his escape craft and prepares to escape off-world, but he has a moment of hesitation where he wonders if all the jobs he's taken are worth it. Back in the wasteland, everyone is back in their armor and ready to go. Springer tells Derek it's time to go. Derek asks for one more minute to say his goodbyes to Solila. She reminds him to give the data packet to the Agorian unifiers, who are the counterparts to the Zertonian rebels that helped them escape. Derek assures her he won't let them down. As Solila leaves, Derek stops her and says he wants to give her something. He removes his handroid and gives it to her. The handroid does not approve of being wielded by a Zertonian, but Derek ignores it. Solila puts the handroid on her right hand and promises that she will return it when they meet again. Solila takes her helmet off and tells Derek one last thing. He reminds her of her brother. Derek thanks her, but Solila tells him it wasn't a compliment. She doesn't want him to end up like he did. She asks him to please take care of himself, and they embrace, touching their foreheads together. For a brief moment, their gems touch each other. They don't notice anything, but this brief unification causes a reaction. Deep inside the black hole at the center of the sacred ring, something stirs, something that looks a lot like a giant living planet. Its green eyes come to life for a brief moment. Then Derek and Solila's gems break contact as they look at each other and say goodbye. And the creature returns to its slumber. To be continued. And that is everything with Void Rivals number 12. So one thing I got to point out is that Springer is in this book for one panel. And the advertisement on the Skybound website is preview: Springer's fate is revealed in Void Rivals number 12. What fate? He was just standing there and he said, "Let's go." That's it. That's all that happened to Springer. Nothing else happened.
He's direct
going.
sidekick. Like that's what's happened.
So that's a little bit of false advertising for me, but this issue kind of fell flat for me. This is kind of a similar feeling I had with the end of the first story arc of Void Rivals, issue 6, where things are kind of just, it ends on a whimper. It's like, okay, the Void Rivals split up to do their own quests, but we don't really end. Like the whole thing, like the whole last 6 issues have been them like going through the wasteland trying to get to Agoria. They made it halfway and found Springer, and that's it. So this book has been moving. The pace has been a little bit slow for me in this book in the last story arc. So. And then, kind of like we get some of these are interesting character moments, but it's like, okay, what are we setting up for these characters to do? Like Proximus, he got his ass beat by Springer in the Void Rivals, and then he like basically went back home, but he's a fugitive now because he's like a criminal, a war criminal. So they're probably just going to put him back in the tank if they find him. So he's now hiding. And then we return to this other boy who betrayed the Void Rivals earlier, and they have a connection. So okay, that's fine, but I don't know. It feels like we didn't really get a big moment. Okay, so that's my other thing. We get this kind of big moment to end the storyline here, and so I'm curious what this creature is. So as a Transformers fan, my mind immediately goes to Unicron because they keep talking about unity, and then the thing has green eyes. It looks like a planet. I see some pointy things that look like 2 giant spikes at the bottom of it. So, I mean, are we already at Unicron? We're 12 issues in and we're already getting to Unicron. That seems it seems a little early, but okay. Also, the characters in it's not mentioned in this book, but in earlier books, the 2 characters, like the leaders Zalalak and Doolin, who were trying to stop this, they mentioned the coming of Goliant. So I think the implication is that this is supposed to be Goliant, but again, as a Transformers fan, it reminds me more of Unicron. So I don't know what Goliant is. They haven't really explained what Goliant is. If that's another name for Unicron, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that's a nice mystery to puzzle over. Just I wish there was some more interesting action in this book itself rather than just setting up stuff for the future. So that's it for Void Rivals number 12, and then we'll have a month off. No Void Rivals in September, and then Void Rivals 13 will be in October, and then it will be aligned with Transformers. So Transformers actually started 3 or 4 months after Void Rivals, and with some of the delays now, they've basically lined up. So now in October will be Transformers number 13 and Void Rivals number 13. Where Transformers did not have any gaps in its schedule. So, which I mean, if you're if the numbers lining up, it means something to you, then congratulations, they're going to line up. But yeah, this was a mad book for me. So, Char, what were your thoughts on this issue?
Well, I first want to start off, Charles, you brought up a good point about this mysterious planet that's probably a robot, that's probably a Transformer being Unicron. I was double checking Unicron's eye color. It is green. So there you go.
Yeah.
So it's like, interesting. And especially, we talked about that Reddit thing that that mentioned that it's Transformers comic at least is going to be G1 focused, so they're probably not going to be introducing any new like Transformer characters. So I am going to agree with you that this is probably Unicron, and he just they just refer to him by that, what was it, Golak or whatever.
Goliant, I think, is the name.
Goliant. Yeah. I agree with you. This issue wasn't very engaging. I did like the character interactions between Dirac and Salila. I thought it was very intimate that they touched foreheads, but I also think it's out of character for them too, because she seems like Salila seems like she doesn't really want to get close to Dirac. So to me, this seems out of character, but these are new characters. They are trauma bonded because they did go through some horrific stuff and survive some horrific things together. I won't be surprised if they pair them up, just like romantically. Kind of wish they wouldn't, just to do something different and just have them be friends. But, we'll see what happens in regards to that. I am disappointed that they only showed Springer in one frame and reduced him to this, to me, that it came across as a sidekick type of role to Dirac, because he gives his hand droid, his little assistant glove guy, to Salila, and because he's like, oh, I've got this other robot with swords, and it's just kind of like, it's like, well, Springer's a sentient person, or robot person. Like, he's not like just your assistant like this hand droid thing was, so it was just really weird to me. I'm hoping that this turns around because, like, I enjoy seeing the Transformer cameos in this story, but it's just so hit or miss, this story for me. Like, it's just, I'm not sure about it. Those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, like, I thought we were building up to something with like a couple, like it was either last issue, a couple issues ago, where we had Hot Rod and then the Quintessons chasing Hot Rod. I thought, like, at the very least, at the end of this arc, Hot Rod would maybe make it to the Sacred Ring and maybe meet up with Springer and introduce himself to the Void Rivals, or something like, have something like the cliffhanger be like Hot Rod and the Quintessons, and then have like maybe see some kind of confrontation there, which I mean, it looks like that's coming in a few more issues, but I just thought it feels like they're kind of dragging things, and I was expecting those things to come into play a little bit quicker. And then also the other, like, all the other things happening in other places, like the stuff with the Skuxoid is kind of not really tying in with everything else, so I guess we'll see. But it's interesting how much like they're pulling these minor alien characters from the G1 cartoon. So there was like one episode of the G1 cartoon with season 2, The Gambler, and like almost all the characters are pulled from that one episode of the cartoon. So like this guy Lord Gaikani was the kind of the bad guy there. They had Bosch a few issues ago, who was also a character in that episode. And then Slizardo was also introduced in that episode with the Autobot bounty hunter Devcon, who we haven't seen Devcon in the comic yet. I'm kind of expecting him to show up since they pulled so many characters from that one episode of the cartoon. And then the Skuxoid has been in like several season 3 episodes of the G1 cartoon. So it's weird. Like, I'm wondering like how they're building up the larger universe, just pulling these few minor alien characters, but I guess we'll see. Daryl, what were your thoughts on this issue?
I wasn't super thrilled with it. It did move pretty slow, although I have to say I was pretty impressed with the Skuxoid. He's in the original G1 cartoon, he was a bit of a goofball and really kind of I don't know. He was like teased as a bit of a screw up, and here he's being played off as a badass. Like he's got this this responsibility that he does this job to provide, but he's a badass character, and I'm kind of digging him. That being said, the other badass in here, what was it? Dirac? Not Dirac. The
Proximus, the
Proximus,
cyborg
yeah,
guy.
yeah. I kind of lost some respect for him because he was he was like this nightmare of a warrior, and here he is chilling with some kid. I'm like, just kill the kid and let's go. Like, yeah, I just, I fully expected him to be much more vicious and not really have any kind of heart whatsoever. And this scene showed there's still some kind of quote unquote humanity in this being. So, I guess that's cool. Really, I expected him to be much, much more savage though.
And I would have like, they could have resolved the thing where like they heavily implied in a previous issue that Proximus was Solila's brother.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have like resolved that. Like when she's mentioned at the end, like, you remind me of my brother, they could have like had a little bit flashback to like, oh, he's Proximus. Like that would have been a nice reveal or something, but
Mm-hmm.
they didn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it before. This is a Robert Kirkman book, and he writes really slowly. So if you're out there reading this book and this is your first book by Robert Kirkman, welcome to the slow burn. This is what he does. So you're gonna get a lot of story. You're gonna get a lot of exposition, and it's just a lot of nothing. And then the story is just gonna move at one point. It's not even gonna be a big, like, you'd think this is the end of the run or whatever. This, not the run, but the arc. And you think there'd be something here, but there's nothing here to kind of keep you going into the next run. But whatever. Yeah, it's the story's fine. I was surprised that that he, what's his nuts, gave Handroid to Soleil.
Mm-hmm.
Dirac.
Dirac,
So it's whatever. The figure, kind of waking up in the at the end. I really hope it's not Unicron. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but God, I hope it's not.
Yeah.
It seems way too soon.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Goliant, a new character, a new giant planet-sized transformer, the Unicron's cousin, Goliant. I don't know.
Yeah, it's his friend. He has a friend.
Yep.
He's just as mean.
I mean, the silhouette definitely does not exactly look like Unicron. Mm-hmm. Like the spiky bits are in the wrong place. The head is in the wrong place in relation to the two like giant spikes, and there's no like ring around it. So it doesn't like the silhouette is not recognizably Unicron, but it could just be a redesign of Unicron. That could also be,
it's been done before.
So
yeah.
No, we'll see.
Yeah. And we're waiting a month for like an additional month for the next book, right? So the preview for issue 13 isn't until October 23rd now. So
Yep.
Wow.
So that's it's going to be 2 months before we get the next part. But I think the solicits have teased that we're going to see Hot Rod get more involved in the story. So we'll see.
really, the solicits that promised that Springer was going to be,
Yeah.
big.
His fate
big
was
time
revealed.
His
Yeah.
fate.
Those same solicits.
Yes.
Well,
They sold it really well, and it's like, congratulations, Springer, you're a sidekick now to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he can
Yeah,
give his android to his girlfriend, right?
it's kind of a fate, I guess.
Yeah. Poor Springer. Springer deserved better.
Justice for Springer.
Yes. Start that on Twitter.
All right, well, that's our review of Void Rivals number 12. So if you have thoughts, feel free to write in. Again, feedback, transmissionspodcast.com/feedback, or you can put comments in the YouTube video. Easy ways to get in touch with us. So let us know what you thought. All right, let's move on. We've got some media news.
All right. In media news this week, we have got a novelization. So, Transformers 1, the new movie that's coming out next month, is being preempted by a novel. So, if you wanted to read the movie, you can. And the official novelization is out at U.S. retail, and you can find it right now at Barnes & Noble. And you just gotta go look. All right. Up next, we've got some new confirmed voice actors for Transformers 1. I realized that saying this, people are already seeing it in advanced screenings. But we have confirmation that Evan Michael Lee has been confirmed as the voice of Jazz for the movie. And unfortunately, I don't recognize that gentleman, so I don't know what he's from. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know him either. No. Let's see what his Twitter page says. Looks like he's done some anime voices and also video games. So
okay, cool.
Hades, Fortnite, Bleach.
Cool. All right. And the other one we have is that we have a voice for Soundwave, and that's going to be done by Transformers superfan and voice actor John Bailey. So Soundwave is going to be done by a Transformers voice actor who's done Transformers voices before. He's actually done an Optimus Prime before. I think he was in the Machinima series.
Yeah,
so,
Combiner Wars. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think they brought Peter Cullen back for Titan's Return and Power of the Prime. So
that's right. Yeah, and I think John's been he's done a bunch of other stuff too in the Transformers. Maybe some video games and stuff like that. But yeah, he's this is his. I think this is probably his biggest role. So yeah, congrats to John, because I know he started off as a fan, and then he's the epic voice guy. So I mean, if you've ever done, if you've ever seen those videos on YouTube, that's him. But yeah, so this is pretty big for him.
I think he also did voices in the Bumblebee movie. I think he did Soundwave and Shockwave.
Oh, did he?
In the Bumblebee movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right on. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So.
Right on. All right. And we have some more voices here. And these are for Darkwing and Arachnid voice actors are confirmed. And we have Darkwing as Isaac C. Singleton Jr. and Arachnid as Vanessa Lingori. No, I keep saying an N in there. It's Ligori. Yeah. And then we have a Shockwave voice actor as a Jason something. I can't pronounce that.
Conopisos Alvarez.
Great. So yeah, we're getting some voice actors. I'm assuming these are coming from advanced screenings. People are just kind of taking down the names as the credits roll and then posting them. So well done. So very good. Glad to get the recognition out there that it's finally starting to do. There's I know we're going to talk about it a little bit more here, but very cool. And Charles, I guess I'll throw it to you because there's a AR experience happening at Walmart.
Yes. So if you need to, like, if you want to get some more direct marketing into your veins for the Transformers 1, all the merchandise associated with the movie, you can scan that QR code and on your phone, and then it will open up an augmented reality app in your browser. So it actually like projects images of the four main characters in like space in front of you. Like it opens your camera, and like when you look through your phone's camera, you will see the things like hanging in space in your room. And then you can interact with them. Like you can tap your screen on your phone and then it'll open up stuff. And then you can, like, it has a little game, like find the Energon cube in your, in this field of view. And it's I think for kids who want to, like, who were raised on Pokemon Go, it's an interesting little app. And of course it's just to market the Transformers 1 toys, and like what you can get at Walmart. So, I tried it out. It was a good like 5-minute distraction, and it was cool. It was I was more impressed by the like how easy it was to implement this augmented reality, where like things are floating in space through your phone, where like it seemed like the technology had not gone that far, but I guess with Pokemon Go and other like AR games, this is now more widespread. So it's enough to like just use it for a cheap commercial tie-in for Walmart. So there you go. So so I think that's all our media, lots of Transformers 1 media news, but we also have Char with us, who had the super special opportunity to go see Transformers 1 early. So she's not going to spoil it. Don't worry.
She's going to break it down completely.
But she is going to give us her impressions and thoughts on seeing the movie and just the overall experience. So Char, the floor is yours.
All right. So I did have the special opportunity. Mike Cyber, friend of the show, invited me as part of like the Cybfest group to go see Transformers 1 up in Seattle, Washington. It was on August 22nd. It was a Thursday. So I did make the trek up to Seattle on a work day. So anyways, I took the afternoon off and did that. And one of my friends came with me who is not a Transformers fan, really. Like, she's a casual fan. So we went to the premiere. They gave these super cool posters, or not premiere, or an advanced screening. They were giving out these super cool posters, which I showed already. And what's really interesting I don't know if either of you've been to like an advanced screening before. I went to one for Rise of the Beasts also. They have your name on a list. So like when you go to the door, you just go up, there's like a person sitting there, and they're like, you just give them your name and they like verify you. And then we get the poster, we go in, the movie started right at 7. There's no previews. So like as soon as you have to be there on time. And most of us there were from Cybfest. There were members of the general public there as well. they have this big thing on the screen before the movie starts, like as you're sitting down in there, that you're under a media embargo, so you're not allowed to post spoilers. I think it's up. Let me just double check. I think it's September 12th when we can start posting spoilers, which I think is weird that you'd think it would be until after the movie like comes out. So it's just really weird. So it says global review embargo Thursday, September 12th at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So and it says here, share your reactions, but please avoid spoilers. So, yeah, I take that very seriously. I will start off saying I am biased and I am a Transformers fan. So I am already biased to like it just because I am a Transformers fan. So, the both of you. So, I really enjoyed it, and I'm not just saying this as like a super fan or anything. I thought they did a really good job at the character interactions and the story. So that's, and I really enjoyed it. The voice acting was really good. Now we know, because people have been posting spoilers on who the voices for these people are, the characters. Yeah, it was, I really enjoyed it. That seemed like the audience enjoyed it a lot too. People were laughing at like various points or just getting really excited when like certain characters would come on screen. And, yeah, my friend who is with me, who's not like really a Transformers fan, she's just like, I want to see it again. So, and she felt really connected to the characters. So I thought that was a really good review for it. I can't wait to see it again. I wish I could say more but I'm trying to be really vague, and I want to, respect what they asked us to do for going and seeing this movie early. If you do have an opportunity to see an advanced screening, I'm sure there's going to still be more advanced screenings. They're doing a lot of them, it looks like. But yeah, I'm super excited about this movie. So, and I can't wait for you both to see it, Daryl's and Charles. I'm just like, oh, it's so exciting. And I've had people ask me questions specifically about Starscream because, he's my favorite. And I'm like, oh, I really want to say. And then once I'm allowed to say things, I'm not going to say anything until after the movie's been out, just so people have time to see it. I know the embargo says the 12th, but I will be very excited to have conversations with people about characters and whatnot.
Cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was mentioning this before we started the show, but just the fact that they're doing these screenings so early and they're trying to get a lot of people to see it, a lot of people to get a chance to to build some hype. It feels like they have a lot of confidence in the movie, and that they think if they can get people interested in it, that they'll go to see it and they'll enjoy it. So that's a good sign. It's always a bad sign when a movie doesn't allow people to review it ahead of time and won't let people get any screening ahead of time, because that shows that they don't they know they have a bad movie, so they don't want any bad press ahead of time. So I think the opposite is the case here, where they're trying to get as many good first impressions as they can. So to me, that says that it's hopefully going to be a good movie. So yeah.
On that same note, I didn't get to go and see an early screening, but I have a connection to Reddit, and we've talked about it before over the years, but any new listeners may not know, but I'm one of the main mods on the Transformers subreddit. I've been a mod there for 10 years. It's been a long time. And anyway, it's I got contacted by somebody over there about sending the mod team to early screenings, plus a bunch of quote unquote super users. So I had to, I mean, the mod team on Reddit don't hang out together. I mean, we're spread across the world, right? And the super users don't, it doesn't just tell you who's a, a high ranking user kind of thing. So that's information you got to figure out. Anyway, I was able to determine that I basically, long story short, I was able to get 9 people to go. So they offered me screenings in a various number of U.S. cities. So anybody outside of the U.S., I was not able to go. But they had screenings in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Dallas, Washington, D.C., Boston, Houston, Phoenix, Seattle, Atlanta, Miami, Detroit, Denver, San Diego, Sacramento, Orlando, and Minneapolis. So, and I gathered as many people as I could find in the short window that I was given, and that end number ended up being 9. So, one person has already seen it. I guess the Orlando screening has already happened. The rest of those screenings are happening this week. By the time you've heard this episode, those screenings have ended. So a lot of those people, all those people should have seen them by now. And but it's I was pretty happy that I got contacted to do all this. Most of the time, those messages that come through to me are all like spam and kind of BS kind of messages. But this one ended up being legit, so it was kind of fun to see. So kind of a bummer I wasn't able to partake, but that's just the way it is. When you're Canadian and the messages come from Americans, they assume everyone's American. So. Right? Right?
I thought you were American, and we've been podcasting for 11 years together.
See?
You're America adjacent.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was pretty stoked to be able to organize this for some people. I assume the people that I messaged that didn't get the invite or didn't respond in time will be bummed, but whatever, it happens.
It'll be out in a month. Everyone will get to see it in a month. It's
exactly.
Yeah, it's not a long wait. So
yeah,
one of the people that I messaged came back to me, and the first response was, "Is this real?" And I'm like, "It appears to be real, yes." And then they're like, they came back and said, "Well, my mom wants more information." I'm like, "This is a kid." So anyway, so I was like, okay, because Paramount wanted people's full names and email addresses, and I'm like, okay, give me your mom's name and email address then. So anyway, I went through his mom. So
that's cool though.
Hey, it was fine. I'm digging it. One person ended up not being able to make the drive. They were going to, I think it was one of the Dallas, maybe it was Dallas. No, it was Atlanta one. And they were like, I'm free. I don't have to work on the day of the screening, but I have no ride anymore. I'm like, I'm like, what? I can't get you a ride there, man.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? You gotta get your way to the theater, dude. So yeah. So.
That's nice of you to do that, Daryl, though, for people. And I'm bummed you weren't able to go. It's too bad they weren't doing like screenings. It's interesting what cities they picked too, because I'm in Portland and they didn't do any screenings here, as far as I know. So, and it was ended up being 4 hours of driving. So there's just so much traffic one way to get to Seattle. So it is a big commitment to go to these screenings.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. All right. Well, hopefully everyone can wait it out for another. I think at this point, by the time this is up, it'll only be another 3 weeks. So 3 weeks, and you'll be good. Don't worry.
Buy your tickets. Buy your tickets.
Yep.
Go see the movie. See it twice.
All right. Well, we will finish up the show with some convention news. All right. So looks like Nick Roche is going to be at the next TF Nation Minicon, and this is going to be in Reading in the UK on November 23rd. So I believe this might be Thanksgiving weekend for us in the States. I mean, they don't care in the UK, but that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, the TF Nation has been branching out and doing these mini cons at different parts of the year. So their main convention is in August every year. It just passed this August, but now they're doing these mini cons. They've done them in March, and now they're doing one in November. And Nick Roche, of course, is a mainstay in Transformers fandom in Ireland and the UK. He's done a lot of work in Transformers comics, and then also worked on TV shows, done character design on TV shows. Most recently, Earthspark. So he's a cool. We've had several interviews with him. We've met him in person when he's been over here for TF Cons. Great guy, really fun having interviews with him and just having fun with him. So it's really cool if you get a chance to meet with him and talk with him. You're in for a treat. So, and of course you can, I mean, I don't know if he's doing commissioned artwork for this one, but of course getting a commission for him, get him to sign some stuff, some of the books he's done in the past, done both written and artwork for. So yeah, check that out. So yeah, so this will be TF Nation's first event in the south of England. So, and of course, yeah, it's cool to have Nick Roche as the first guest announced there. All right, so that's all for convention news. And that takes us to the end of this episode. So we have finished up another episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Of course, at the end of every episode, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. These are the folks who continue to support the podcast at our highest level on Patreon, which is why we think they deserve a shout out in every episode. So thank you once again to John Forks Levengood, Demon Tech 82, and Steve C. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for watching and listening, all our Donatrons and all our listeners and watchers who just support the show. We really appreciate it. And Char, thank you again for hanging out with us this week and giving us all your thoughts on Transformers 1 without spoiling anything. So we really appreciate that. And tell everyone where they can find you on social media. And do not pester her for Transformers 1 spoilers, because she will not give you any.
Thank you for that support, Charles. Yeah. I take spoilers extremely seriously. So yeah, I'm going to be like this the next month. So you can find me on the site formerly known as Twitter and then Instagram at RoboPaulo. I am working on some Transformers art. It's been very slow, but I am working on stuff. I've got some ideas in the works. And I am always happy to be on, and hopefully I will be on more often. I was really busy in between Cybfest and then being sick with COVID, so I'm really glad to be back, and hopefully there won't go for such a long period of time between shows. So thank you.
All right, yeah. And I think we'll definitely try to do a big review of Transformers 1 at the end of the month, at the end of September. Like we did for Rise of the Beasts last year. So hopefully you'll be around and we can all get together for that. So
sounds good.
Hopefully you remember what happened in it.
I'm going to go see it again. I'm going to actually check after we get off the show tonight and see if tickets are available. I'm going to go buy one for the day of opening day. So
cool. Yeah, I think they've got to be on sale already. Usually it's like they release them a couple of months ahead of time. So yeah, you should be able to. All right. Well, thanks everyone again. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.